Yeah, go grab that guy.
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Yo, go round him up so he's not trying to fuck the face of other dogs.
Oh, we're live. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yo. Hey, hey.
Welcome to the Ordinals are Dead show. It's fucking dead out there, guys.
R.I.P.
Welcome. I'm Troy. This is Big Guy. That's Adza, our friend from down under. What's going on, brother?
What's up, mate? How you doing?
Good, mate. Good, mate. You sick cunt. And that's Elmo. What's going on, guys? Let's get into it. What's your week like?
Welcome. No, I want to say it's awesome to have ads on here. I think that we've been wanting to have him on for a little bit and or for a long time.
I've been saying no.
Adza used to be like he used to be in the audience. If we ever had an audience, like
the early days
when we had like a shutdown like set.
OG.
And he'd be in the audience and he'd be talking. I'm like, dude, get the fuck on mic.
I like to call it heckling, but yeah.
Yes. He would throw shit at us, like, you know what I mean? Throw tomatoes
and now he's on the mic. It's good to
Yes.
see you, brother.
He's on it, baby.
Yeah. So
Good
what's
to be
going on
here.
with your life lately, man? What's going on?
Well, the market was shit, and I needed some time off, so I took a few weeks off, and that was fucking great. And now I've been tapping back in, doing spaces, some little trades, and it's feeling fun again. It feels like the green is coming back to the sea of red, and there's some opportunities coming, and ready to rock it.
Yeah, you told me to keep buying the sack of ketamine.
The sack of ketamine. I mean, I bought 100 of them just slowly over the last 3 months, and all of a sudden
what's your bull
$60.
case? What's your bull
Why'd they
case on?
pump?
Yeah, what's your bull case on that?
Because ketamine is a puppet meme. It has a puppet face on it, and everything puppets will pump again eventually because puppets are puppets.
Yeah, I'm into ketamine though.
The fucking puppets.
Yeah, are you sure he's talking about like the actual ordinal or?
No, he's talking
Oh,
about
no, I've just been selling ketamine
wait,
to make money.
oh,
Yeah. Sorry,
shit.
no.
We were talking about
I'm talking about
digital goods. My bad.
ketamine, the ordinal. It just seems obvious to me that, like Trump puppet derivative, is that going to pump? Feels like it'll probably pump soon, right?
Well, listen, man, we're going to get into Tennessee.
stupider, the better.
We're going to get into Tennessee later on in the show
Yes.
about, rootin' tootin' time, maybe some gunshots. I know I'm going to be shooting some guns, but not in the connection to the president, but just on the field. Oh my God, this is going south.
great.
The
We're on no
Secret
fly list
Service
now.
is here already to question Troy.
Cops showing a light on me.
We are
Look,
fucked.
now we
Yeah.
actually have structure to this, right? We
Okay.
have like a whole setup. You guys know what kind of topics we're going to be going over here today on the show. We got them highlighted in the screen. We look
I love it, I
professional.
love
A
it.
little bit of
Great
production
producers.
value out of here,
well,
right?
so what's the Ordinals
The daily
update?
diagnosis, huh?
Do you guys want to dig into it or what?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So should we dig into the breedable Ordinals or?
Read about.
I've heard
So
you're
look,
not
that-
supposed to Google breedable when
Yeah.
you're looking for a
Yeah,
breedable ordinal.
Began bot, Began, our wonderful crazy producer says, do not, and you're going to, but do not Google breedable.
So look, I don't know.
Do not Google
Please
that.
I have no idea what a breedable ordinal is, but I just want to shout out Zed Zorath, who is one of the OG sat hunters / researchers who helped define palindromes and all this stuff. I believe he is a mathematician, and he is an absolute legend. And I don't know anything about breedable ordinals, but if he's involved, I think it's worth a check out.
So what are breedable Ordinals, Chad?
So Zed put out this tweet thread. I got to make sure to talk into the mic here. Sorry, I can't face you, Adza or Elmo.
Just got to hold the
I
mic.
feel
I
like
know.
you
Just
guys
hold
are
the
on
mic with
ketamine. You're so relaxed. Like you're just like, yeah.
Exactly.
So there's
Ordinals.
Go ahead, buddy.
Zed Zeroth put out this thread on how he was experimenting with something I think called the flowers or sort of an upcoming collection for him. I think the technical details are unclear. I think that from reading that, it wasn't sort of clear to me.
Is a summary that it's like something that changes over time?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's something that continues to grow over time, as well as I believe can combine to create. I think that's where they get the sort of breedable aspect to it.
Because
right?
the previous series that he did was like one that I was part of. At least there was one about me because it was about sat hunters, and that was something that changed every block. And then on the halving block, it did something special, and it just was like a tribute to all the people sort of early in the sat hunting thing. So he's on the edge of like new tech and figuring out how to do stuff on the blockchain. That's cool.
That's good to know. Apparently, also there's like an early access. If I'm reading it right, like there's an early access to getting a rare version of this flower to start like planting or whatever, like on the chain to be able to grow
Something.
to grow something.
Yeah.
So it's cool tech. Is
Dude,
it cool tech?
It's cool as shit. I'll tell you why. Because a year or two ago, I thought like, can I make a plant NFT on ETH, whatever the fuck I was fucking with, that just grows like from a seed.
I mean,
over
were you
time.
guys around in 2021 where when Bonsai Began, it was Bonsai, right? Remember Bonsai came out? Huh? I still
Still bag holding.
So there was this ETH project back early 2021 after the apes, of course. It's just beautiful, like digital plant on the Ethereum blockchain, and it would kind of change colors and
I think
stuff like that.
You're going to start to see more and more, I think, projects try and do this, that evolve over time. I know that
dynamic,
Chip,
right?
Chip from Ordinal Miners, I think, is also, working on something with, I think it's called the trees or, wisdom trees or something like that, right?
Yes.
That are connected to, I think, blocks and like, I don't know. I think that this stuff is really cool, like really leaning into what makes Bitcoin and Bitcoin art unique. You can't really do that, right, on other chains that aren't specifically tied to, blocks and recursive endpoints and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's cool.
Well, this begs the question. I mean, question here is if it's new tech, does the number go up?
I think gamification is definitely a plus for new people entering the market, right? So when you see things like this, like breedable ordinals coming out, it's like it may not necessarily be something that I'm interested in, but this is definitely a layer of gamification that like other people could be interested in.
The other thing is, like as digital art, you've got to do shit that you can only do with digital art, right? Like I can draw a picture and inscribe it and sell it to anyone, but I can't draw a picture that changes over time.
Yeah.
Well, that's
right? So if we're leaning into digital art, like do cool shit that is only possible with digital art. And I think this is that, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's different than just having art on chain, which is also a cool thing. But art on chain doesn't mean number go up.
Yeah, and I'm not
cases,
saying any art without, some mechanic like this is not worthy. But like, let's push the boundaries here. Like, AR, augmented reality stuff. Like everyone loves that stuff.
All right. So consensus is it's cool. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I would like to mint it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'll definitely mint.
If
If it's really cheap, number go up.
Okay.
Well, also, flippy.
Usually
get a
Lambo.
Lambo.
Flip it. You're going to try to flip it.
Also, usually, like the first iterations of something have some sort of like value kind of like baked into them to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So maybe having the first breedable ordinal will be definitely.
No, it reminds me of what Neuro's doing with like the brain on chain. And
the Neuro realm.
Yeah, dude. And I think he's following the project. I'd love to meet Zed, by the way.
I was gonna say he should be on the show at some point, and also he's an OG respected by everyone that ever thought about a fucking stat. Honestly.
All right.
So he.
Zed, I just gave you a mental follow.
Honestly, if you don't follow him, follow him right now.
Flippity flop and flops and flips is the decentralized mint that we just had with what decentralized or cyberkongs, right?
Yes.
They minted or deployed the second rune ever. Number 2.
They and with the help of Chip and his company, Ordinal Miners. So they did that. Now they have this sort of, it was this AI generated. It seems AI generated. These weren't hand drawn, were they? The art on these?
Well, it was 222.
Yeah.
One of one, piece is called the Untitled. Misunderstood. Maybe I think Elmo and I sort of joked about. But I don't know if they were AI generated. It looked like to me more so it was like unfinished.
Okay.
Like it was like unreveled art. You know what I mean? Like I was like, is there something next? But I don't know. I don't think there is.
A lot of them look different, very different from each other. But just for the record, I don't think any of us minted this, right? Because we didn't win, right? Like you had to have a couple of Prometheans, and you had to have at least 100,000 decentralized.
I'll be honest. How many was that? 222.
222.
I wouldn't bother because it'll be botted, and I can't be bothered getting a bot to try at that. Like my question is, why 222?
Why only that
because,
many?
Is it because I guess of the
numerology?
Number 2?
Oh, that could be 2.
It could have been 2,222.
It could have been. Right?
I personally
22. Two.
So you had to have 2. My understanding is you had to have 2 Prometheans, and you had to have enough decentralized runes to be able to enter a raffle to be able to win. I don't think it was just like hand picked kind of thing. If I'm mistaken, please do some research, but don't Google breedable. And that said, secondary market before even minted out was already cooking at 0.1, 0.11. I was, I think my friend minted. I said, dude, he goes, I can't flip it right now. I'm outside of the house. I go, damn, you're unlucky. Let me drive to your house, help you. I'll split half the money with you.
Yeah.
But other than that, maybe the low allocation size was just like a test to see like, oh, what might they do next if this goes well?
Have they released a lot of plans and stuff?
No.
No.
Okay, so the question I have is, They haven't released a lot of plans. Do they have plans? And like, if you have the second ever etched rune, you must have had a fucking plan to do that. So where's the plan?
I don't know. It seems more like to me they're sort of scrambling. I really think to the art in particular, it was, like I said, it felt like very much unfinished work, or that it was going to be revealed at a later point. But they're WebP files, they're not HTML. They're not recursive files, so nothing else is coming after this with regards to at least these, specific files.
So
Maybe there's an
based on
airdrop, but I don't
that,
know.
there's not going to be a reveal like, hey, we tricked you.
No.
It's like AI art, and here's what it is.
I'm definitely not wearing it as a PFP.
I was going to get merch for it
For what?
to wear this at Nashville. That I didn't mint
What,
it.
the
but
decentralized rune? I'm
I'm
confused.
just kidding.
Oh, okay. You were joking. I
I'm
didn't know
joking. See, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to talk to you. Sometimes can't make a joke with
Can't
this
read
guy.
between the lines here.
So like, was there hype around this?
I think there was hype. I mean, the thing sold out in 1 second, which is crazy.
There
Yeah.
was 222 though.
So like, I think we were talking last episode. We were wondering if this thing was even going to be successful, and it minted out in 1 second. So and then the secondary also. I mean, when I saw it this morning, it was like sitting at 9.6K or something like that they were selling for. So yeah, I think it was like fairly successful considering.
I wanted one when I noticed it was doing that.
Yeah.
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 I checked right away if I was eligible, and I was not. It said loser. That's what it said.
R.I.P.
Loser confirmed.
R.I.P. that. So
Well, something that's something that's maybe not a loss and been kind of interesting is the Ordigachis.
Ordigachis.
You're kind of in this world, right?
Well, I mean, we got the it came to my attention. First of all, Ordigachis are like, it reminds me of what Pizza Ninjas is doing. It's basically the Tamagotchis. Feeding these characters, and they're going to live on chain, making sure they live, and they'll die or live by your hand, basically. And it's this company, Ordigachis. I don't know who the founders are. I would love to know at least who's behind it. But it seems fun. It reminds me of like I said, what Pizza Ninjas is already doing something like that. And you raise them on chain while accumulating runes.
Is this not similar to what Zed is doing with the breedable? I mean, how are we going to define it?
I mean, those are flowers.
It's another dynamic thing, right, where it changes.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We probably could have followed up with that after breedable, before going to decentralized. But there's 69 of these NFTs. That's
Wow.
that's a lot.
Sorry, 6,000.
What do we think about that? Do we care?
Well,
Ambitious?
I guess like I think in talking about this previously, right? I think Troy is to your point of who is behind this, right? Who's the founder, right? Like I want to know these people. I want to
show yourself.
I want to see them in Nashville, right? Maybe not in Nashville, but like one of these other conferences. Like show yourself,
Dude, I'm all
You
for
know?
I'm all for
You
decentralized.
love the relationships, huh?
Yeah, I love relationships. I love that we're in a decentralized realm, right? But at this point, man, I want to know at least one person on the team, besides like who are the whitelist collab people that are hooking us up with these whitelists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you just take them. You take them for your community. You take them like, yes, we'll take them. Yeah, it looks good, but I just feel like at this point in the game, we just want to know if you got a real person behind there that has done stuff before. I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean,
just trading pictures, but like, are any of these people trying to become companies?
To go a little bit further
Go ahead.
though on that, to ask you, Troy, has that worked out for you? I think in better ways to trying to get to know people rather than just finding the collab managers and flipping it, or you know what I mean? Like, does it pay to have relationships or just keep those? People
yes and no. I mean, a good person that has done stuff before could do a shitty project and it could tank, right? So like that's my answer to that. And the most nebulous things, the things that the most mysterious things where you don't know who's behind it, but it fucking cooks. You're just glad that it cooked, and you're in and out of it, and you're like, thank God. Phew, now I can go buy a little tiny Lambo or whatever like that. But I'm just saying at this state, we're here for like 3 or 4 years, and there's not that many outright, nefarious rugs on Ordinals. But
well, maybe let me ask you a different question.
Maybe it doesn't
What
matter
would
who's behind it.
And I think this question could be for for Elmo as well as Ads. I would love to hear your thoughts. But Troy, what sort of piece of advice or pieces of advice would you give to people that are trying to build a project in the Ordinals ecosystem nowadays. It's much different than 6 months, maybe 12 months ago.
I don't know. Hang out with the 500 people that are on Spaces and
500,
stuff.
damn.
Are there 500 people in Ordinals?
It's more like 37.
37.
but
That's a prime
I thought
number.
it was
It's a good
12.
number to follow.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I've never heard of this.
Spend some time.
I've never seen them on Spaces at all. I'm not the judge. I'm just saying, like, you're asking me. I'm like, do you hang out with us? Are y'all going to be in Nashville? Like I want to know what's going on.
Are you showing intent that you're going to be sticking around for
Yeah.
a while and that you're going to be here and you're invested in like doing this forever? Yeah, no, like, but does a doxed like account make you more bullish on?
It's just one of those
On a
things like,
project?
oh, they're doing it? Okay, look, that's interesting. Or they're doing it? Oh, I'm going to stay away. Like, I'd like to know that, you know? But that's just me. That's personal, and that's not always going to happen.
Yeah.
But don't you think that should warrant that nowadays?
I think like isn't this
Basic
just
requirement.
Isn't this just marketing and like both things can work? Sometimes you want to know, sometimes it's completely anonymous, but that works. I think like in reality both can work. You can pull both off, but like long term, if you're investing, buying something you want it to hold value, docs is better. Short term hype doesn't fucking matter.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Yeah, I think if you're going to be around here for a while, you're probably better off doxing, building trust with people.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be around here for a long while and just be undoxed and just keep doing projects, rugging them and going to another one, creating hype like the old marketing trick where you get at least 10,000 followers. You're like, okay. And then they go on a flurry to get it to 100 communities, whitelist. And then it's like rinse and repeat. But goddamn, you know, I don't know. It just seems like, it seems very uninteresting to me. Not the project itself. I'm just saying that rhythm. That rhythm is like, I don't know.
Proper made the comment in the chat over here that there's no need for that. Basically, Rock Toshi is every single founder, so he's not wrong as well. Rock Toshi is behind everything.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right. Speaking about someone that is doxed, right? We have Arthur Hayes.
Yeah.
Arthur Hayes Ordinal Collection.
Yeah.
coming
What's he
soon.
doing? What's he doing lately? Besides avoiding crime.
I guess the Airheads, right, in collaboration with Oil Wallet, which has been a wallet and sort of team that's been around since the early days of Ordinals, that I think has just now really released a beta product, but I guess have somehow managed to collaborate or will be collaborating with Arthur Hayes coming up soon. I believe is a 10K collection. Right?
I don't know who Arthur Hayes is. I don't know what this collection is, and that worries
You-
me.
you
because,
ever heard of
like, I pay attention to this shit. It's my fucking job. So
Adza-
I've never seen it. I mean, I took
do you
a few
know?
weeks off, but
Do you know BitMEX is BitMEX
Company.
the platform? He started that.
okay.
and
But I
then
mean, I
he-
just like
he-
why haven't I seen this on my timeline ever at all?
It was just announced, I think, this past week,
Okay.
and not that sort of anything crazy yet. I
We're
think that
talking
there's
PFP,
there's
10K,
not.
Yeah?
I guess, I guess it's some sort of PFP.
I think a 10K
goal.
PFP is very ambitious in this market.
It is.
Even,
Yeah,
even to
right
announce
now.
that you're doing it, because
We don't
like,
know the price. We don't know where it's launching. We don't know what the entire collection looks like. We don't know anything yet.
So
I mean,
is
we do kind of have a good idea of what the collection looks like, right? They're kind of like those like 3D puffy kind
Yeah,
of
it looks
things.
like it looks
but
like
10,000 of them. You know what I mean? I guess
Yeah,
is more
we
more
don't-
so my point. Like, what is how does the generative sort of piece look to it?
But
Yeah,
he has a Taproot Wizard as his PFP,
Yes.
right?
I mean
So,
that looks that art
He
is
must be
that
OG.
art that movable art is like high def. It's
Yeah.
a lot of there's a lot of data in it, right?
Yeah.
So he's Arthur Hayes, probably got a lot of money. It's probably going to be a high mint price. What do you think? I mean, is he trying to start a company here? Is he is it a villain, a felon trying to start a company here? Because I know the oil guys, they've traveled. I've seen them in Amsterdam. They're in New York.
Does he have a
They're
history of-
really cool guys? But I'm just curious, and they seem like solid.
Has he released projects before? What's his history?
I mean, he's got a criminal record.
I mean, don't we all?
No, I mean, we're all going to jail anyway. So
He's on prison work release.
Yeah, he's
So-
on work release doing a 10K.
So I think adds it to your question. I don't think he's launched or like released any other like JPEG or NFT projects right on other chains. I think he started BitMEX. I think was focused on that for a while. Then went to jail because or not. He never went to jail, right? I think, or did he? Fuck, I actually forget. Do we know?
I don't know.
Okay, I forget. Listen, he has a criminal record. I think had to pay a bunch back in fines. Came back, I think, is still around with BitMEX now. I think just sort of invests out of his family office and is just seen as this sort of like interesting villain in the ecosystem. Has a really popular blog, all that sort of shit. Actually, to go back a little bit more, there's a little bit of lore here, actually. So OXBT, right? So if you know,
that's a bold subject. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the audience, right?
Just waltz right into that one.
So XBT, right? XBT, I think XBT / USD was the sort of ticker for on BitMEX for being able to long like 100x leverage, whatever perpetuals. And so like basically when trying to come up with the ticker, I wanted to sort of pay homage to both the the ordinal side of things, which is sort of O. Of course, in the ticker, and then XBT, which is sort of the more degen side of things with XBT.
Oh, okay.
And so I have a couple tweets out about that, but I do have a lot of respect for Arthur Hayes and like his whole philosophy, but I do think that a lot of his more recent blogs and shit like that is like totally wrong.
What is that
So,
philosophy that you respect? Just quickly, if you can summarize.
I think it's basically like he had a really interesting interview one time at just a random conference, and it was like, why did you start BitMEX or something like that? And he was just like, I just believe humans at their sort of like core are always going to want to speculate on something. And so like he just tried to build the best speculation sort of machine out there. And I think that like there's a lot of people in this space, and like Elmo and I and and Spirit and I were like talking about this, that really try and like shy away from, I think, what this space really is, but it's like it's really, in my opinion, the best sort of casino, or one of the largest casinos really in the world. And I think like too often we're like, oh, we can't, you can't do that, or like we got to build this sort of product for blah blah. And it's just like, dude, like just lean into the degens. You know what I mean? Like just really lean into what humans, I think, at their most raw form are really into.
Degens don't care about crime, right? I mean, even Began just says here, by the way, he calls us the new Ramones, but he, criminal record is bullish for a founder. So, but which is interesting.
I mean, shit, we're gonna see probably Do Kwon come back soon.
No, because the oil guys seem like straight shooters. It's kind of an interesting choice to go, well, here's this guy with a dubious background, but with a great philosophy. I'll use your words. I mean, it's pretty risky, jumping in. I mean, are you bullish on that, or?
I mean, I think it's more so it's a disagreement, right? That happened, of course, between the U.S. government and Arthur Hayes. I think the reason, I'm pretty sure, it's been a while since I've looked at any of the legal side of things, but it was because BitMEX marketed their products to U.S. citizens, right? And they did so very, very willingly.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe that he sort of had issues, right, with the SEC and sort of other organizations. And like, if you don't give a fuck about the SEC, or like you hate the SEC, there's many people that are still on Arthur Hayes' side for like fighting for just allowing people to fucking use crypto products.
Yeah. I mean, he's an honorary Taproot wizard. I mean, Udi and him must be friends. Somebody on the team gave. I mean, if you go in the Discord, anybody, if you go in the Discord, in the Taproot Wizard Discord, and you go to the honorary section, you'll see Arthur Hayes' name and his wizard there.
Yes.
What do you think about all that?
He's an OG.
What do you think about Udi?
I love Udi.
What do you think about Udi, Anthony?
I mean, I barely know anyone that existed fucking more than, I just don't know who these people are. I don't know who these people are.
You don't know who Udi is?
I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know shit about him. I don't know
Fuck
his history. I know that he's,
Yeah.
the quantum cat dude, but like, I really just don't have the history about anyone in this space.
Udi's cool.
Which
He's
can be a
cool.
good thing.
I like Udi. Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
from seeing him on
actually
Spaces, he's a funny guy that likes to joke, and that is pretty funny, and
Yeah.
sometimes very unhelpful to the point he's trying to make, if I had to criticize.
Nice. Unhelpful to the point, yeah.
Well, it's just like, if you make a joke of everything, everything's a fucking joke, and it's like people won't take you seriously.
Yeah.
I think he drives. I think Ads has a really interesting point, but I do think he drives this really fine line between when he's joking and then when he's being serious about.
He does it well and skillfully.
He does.
I just think when there was the whole like maxi debate just about ordinals in general.
Yep.
I remember some spaces where he's just like taking the piss out of maxis, which is it's hilarious, but it's not gonna win them over onto like ordinals should be.
No, they block him so the conversation ends.
Do you have beef with Udi?
I know. Udi and I are like best friends, dude.
Really?
Best friends, huh?
No,
You guys talk often?
No, but Udi and I we have a good relationship. No, but but like if when that whole thing with the Maxi thing, like 8 months ago or 6 months ago, that whole beef. I'd be like, yo, Udi, I DM him and I'd be like, yo, they're fucking, you should get on here. They're talking about you. He goes, I can't see the space. I go, what do you mean? He goes, who's on, screenshot the space. Let me, I show him. He goes, the whole panel, like 12 people all blocked him. What are they saying? I said, I'll record it for you. I never sent it to him because
whatever.
He's not, he doesn't really care.
I mean, that's like every space though about Bitcoin maxis. They're always like, oh, that fucking guy Udi, this is Wizard JPEGs.
Yeah.
And the other argument is it doesn't matter because miners want to be paid money for transactions
Precisely.
and they're getting more money. So like it's all irrelevant what the maxis think because people want to fucking pay their bills.
Yeah.
Simple.
At the end of the day, that's what they want. They want to feed their families.
Side question, not important to Ordinals, but do you get blocked a lot? I'm asking all you guys.
I don't even know how to check if I'm blocked.
I don't think I get blocked a lot.
Yeah,
I hope not.
I've been blocked by 2 people. Like, and I'm just curious why. Like, one was Andrew Tate. Don't even know why. Doesn't even know me. And the other one was who's the androgynous looking comedian that was like from Comedy Central? Is like, he looks what's his name? Kakanakis.
Troy.
Zach
Galifianakis?
No. He wouldn't block me. The other one he kind of like
I blocked you.
He's here in Cali sometimes. He looks like
I don't know.
He looks like
we can move on.
You can move on. Yeah. if it doesn't have ordinal or rune in it, Chad can't handle the conversation.
Well, talking about runes, are runes now stable coins?
So I was on a space with the USDH
you.
people. I was on a space with them this morning talking about the stable coin. Is that what we're jumping into here?
Well, so
Like the stable rune, I guess.
I think there's a point to this topic though of really 2 things, right? Like runes have basically either just flatlined or they've been down only, and then there's also, of course, stable coins coming to runes.
Yes,
it's on runes. I bought $200 of USDH.
Oh, you bought some, right?
I did it to test on a space.
Gotcha.
It was easy. It was like buying a normal rune. There's only a few listings. There's not enough liquidity right now for me to know I can get the $200 back into Bitcoin quickly.
Right.
I was on a space and I asked the person whose name I cannot remember but was representing them, and he had good answers, and I asked him about security and all the stuff that happened with all the other stable coins, how they're going to avoid that. And, he had some pretty decent answers. It seems like they've thought it through, and, everything will be backed by actual real world assets. So, I mean,
we will see.
What's the real world asset that they're backing it with?
I can't remember well enough.
Hopefully cash. US dollars.
Or debt or whatever, right? Yeah, that's
so
usually what they back
I think
it
it's
with.
really, really interesting to see, on Bitcoin, the experimentation for, for different stables. I think it's, there's now probably 3 or 4 different competitors I've seen that I think will be launching or have launched a stable coin. I do think it's a basic piece of an emerging or sort of any ecosystem in crypto. I think what you're going to see though is a lot of this jockeying of
which one is
these
better?
These smaller upstart stablecoins on Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, we know who Daddy is, or daddies are.
Yeah.
And that is both USDC and USDT. And USDT already is supported, I believe, on RGB, which is sort of like a layer 1 or layer 1.5 to Bitcoin. And so I don't know if it is that there is a number of venues that adopt it, then USDT and USDC will come right over.
Not having to bridge off Bitcoin though is a massive advantage for me.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't want to have to swap it to ETH and then to USDT or whatever.
Yeah, I'd be bullish on that, but I'm also I'm bullish and I'm not on the stables, only because it depends on how much they regulate if it becomes successful.
I mean, if I'm honest, I will never keep a large amount of my liquidity in stables because I don't trust them because of everything that's happened in the past, and this is nothing to do
Luna?
with. Nothing
We don't want Luna.
Nothing to do with the new stables, but like seeing that happen to friends of mine, that shit scars you. And it's like, why would I keep it in a stable when I've seen one collapse and another one depeg to 70 cents, whatever the fuck happened.
Bitcoin is king. All roads lead back to Bitcoin.
So what did you mint today? You said on the space you minted something for 200.
No, I literally just bought some USD.
Oh, got you.
$200 worth. I bought some. There was a few listings. Obviously, there has to be a way to sell it back for Bitcoin. There has to be people wanting to buy it and liquidity, which doesn't exist because it was just launched. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm on a space talking to the guy. I'm going to test buying some and then speak about that process. So that's what I did basically.
Can we go back to it for a second?
Yeah.
Though, Troy, you said that you don't trust stablecoins or you don't like them.
No, I didn't say that at all. I said I'm bullish on not having to bridge off chain to collect them or to trade with them or to hold them, but and I'm also bullish on them stables happening to the extent that it's not over regulated where it just sort of like we don't want too much regulations. We want like just enough. Right.
Sure.
That's all I was saying.
So you're worried about just impending or potential
Vast
stablecoin regulation.
What I would really love though is just like some kind of like borderless kind of like voting power with crypto. If we can get to like where we can like vote with crypto, just like doxed, undocked doesn't matter. It's like voting with that. That has nothing to do with stables, but it's the idea of just like stable are for horses. Oh God, Vic. But like I just think like voting where our voice is really heard with crypto, rather than the shit show that we have in America.
But then isn't it just like a whales game or no, right? Like if it's undoxed or doxed, right? Like that's the problem I think right now with governance, right? Or DAOs with governance, or you know what I mean? Or no? Do you think it would be different?
No, it would have to be it'd have to be a correlation. It'd have to be like a cooperation with like government and just like people that trade in crypto.
Do we want the government more involved than they need to be in any of this
Well,
decentralized
here's the thing.
shit?
Here's the thing with the
I
government.
mean, they're going to be there anyway.
Like,
It's a free market. They're gonna be trading.
I mean, the U.S. government's going to do what they do, but like, there's 66,000 nodes, and like they're not all in the U.S., so they can do whatever the fuck they want. But Bitcoin does whatever the fuck it does.
Well, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking
code,
about.
right?
A more borderless kind of operation with voting.
It's hard
But
because
I'm kind of confused, I guess, by what you mean.
Yeah, me too.
well, look,
you're talking about some new world order shit.
I mean,
is what
regulation
you're talking about,
allows
right?
liquidity to come in, right?
I mean,
A globalist.
a better one than they have in store for us. I think. No.
Fingers crossed. I mean,
who's
like
they?
hopefully.
They.
Yeah, who-
I don't know if we're going to
Deep
solve
state.
world politics
It's
in this show.
But like when it comes to governments being involved in crypto, I think it's like a catch-22, right? Like we want decentralization, we don't want the government being involved in this, but also at the same time, it's like we want mass onboarding. And for that to happen, we're going to need regulation, and we're going to need governments to come in and kind of like set some ground rules so we can onboard the next trillion to $100 trillion
pension
that's
fund.
literally sitting outside the limits of the crypto space, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's a catch-22. Do you want it or not? I don't know.
I think it begs. I mean, it's going to be well warranted that we're going to have it.
Yeah. Yeah,
But what did
absolutely.
you say? Pension funds?
It's just like the ETF, right? Now there's a legal framework that allows a pension fund or whoever to buy Bitcoin. That's literally what it fucking did, right? And pension funds have a lot of fucking money in them, and if they all want 3% of a high-risk asset like Bitcoin, a lot of liquidity is going to come in. That's great for the price of Bitcoin.
Yep.
But Bitcoin gets regulated by the government, which is not pure decentralized. So there's like, I don't know what the answer is, but both of those things are true. We want them both. We want more liquidity. It'll happen with regulation, which maybe we don't want, we do want, but
It's funny that you bring up pension funds because there's a lot of pension funds of old that are not going to be holding up well because of the dollar sucking cock.
But I guarantee you in 5 years,
in Web 2 world.
but in 5 years,
Yeah.
10 years, every one of those will be 1 to 5% Bitcoin. I guarantee it. And like, I can't know that, but
It's really just
so
an
likely.
allocation game.
Senior citizens are coming to buy our bags,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I think they'd be down for that because I have some pensions that I'm waiting for because it's my own Screen Actors Guild's a big union.
Okay.
AFTRA union.
Well, I would say that you should be sort of asking them to buy Bitcoin for the fund that you're a
SAG-AFTRA.
part of.
Yeah.
Buy Bitcoin.
Or just say, be like, are you going to do it?
I
guys
should
can buy
I
it
should
now.
retire now. I'm going to still work. And
I mean, I think talking about pensions as well, I would just say, I think for all of us really on stage, I think like not having hopefully you can get to a point where you don't have a reliance on a pension because I think that like I never want really other people managing my money. And we know already that like pension plans for many employers will run out by I think like 2035, 2040. Social Security is on the same sort of path. So like hopefully you have your own money in your own account, in your own wallet when the time comes.
Well, and there was a new survey that actually came out this week that said that people of the age 30 to like 35 only have $20,000 in their savings account, which is crazy, right? Because like they teach us that we need to be out here saving up money for when we are old and decrepit and can't like, you know, take care of ourselves,
really
and we
teach
need to
you.
be putting money in pensions. But like ultimately at the end of the day, it's like people are just trying to kind of like figure out how to buy milk, you know, and like stay alive, you know?
You know, the whole back in the 70s, the whole savings and loan thing. It's like, you know, that was the trick. They taught you that's what you should do to save your. Even my parents were saying, you know, save your money. They never said here's how to make money.
Yeah,
right?
It's like literally, have you got $20,000? Cool, keep it in the bank. Any more, index fund, or you lose money. Inflation. Why the fuck did I figure that out at 30? Why was I not told that during school economics?
Because you weren't supposed to. That was their plan.
Yeah, that's their plan is to keep you employed. You know what I mean? Just follow.
Unless your parents were financiers or they went to finance school or you went to finance school, you didn't know about compound interest and what the banks do when they got $4 of our $50.
I mean, I know that my parents, if they just put their money that they had in savings in compound interest over like a long period, obviously, they would have so much more money, but no one ever fucking told them to do that, right?
That was on purpose. That was on purpose, man.
And I mean, that's why we all end up here, right?
Clock in, 8 o'clock when you're in first grade.
See you later.
And go, you know, leave school at 3 p.m. Weekends free, back to work on Monday.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Do what you're told.
Yeah, exactly.
I think talking about compound interest and potentially compounding effects, right? We got some permissionless rune staking, huh?
Yeah, what's up with that?
So Fluid Tokens put out this thread the other day. They're going to be launching some sort of permissionless staking service. What it sounded like in the thread is basically a project founder or project lead can go to their website, set up a pool for users or sort of holders of that specific project to then collect rewards if they decide to stake their assets. This would be time locked. And I think there's not much more on how the platform looks when it's exactly going to be launched. I think they said over the next couple of days they're hoping to launch it, but that is basically the setup for what permissionless rune staking is. What do we think about it?
Is that layer 2? Is that layer 2?
No, they said it's layer 1, right? It's using op CLTV.
Oh,
which
that's
was,
right. We talked about that last night.
which was confirmed and implemented back in 2015.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just not locking up any of my shit.
Gotcha.
With anyone ever. So for me, it's kind of like, I don't know. You're going to give custody.
It is permissionless, right?
But
still being locked up, I'm like, you cannot get it out of
but
that.
what if
well,
it was
my whole thing, and like I think what might happen or could be quite funny is there's probably going to be some errors at some point with this sort of platform. I think the thing is like, what if it says on the UI like, oh, you're only locking it up for like a week, but really it's like a whole year, and your assets are stuck, you know, for a whole year. I don't know. So I think like there could be some errors on the UI UX side, but yeah, I don't really want to lock up my shit.
Like, I mean, look at Merlin and like the lockup that happened there, and you know everything being unlocked and massive effects.
What if it wasn't just this platform, but let's say if it was a project, let's say for some reason OMB had a platform where you just like, hey, we want you to hold your shit anyway. How about just hold it over here and stake it, and then you earn rewards over there. But it's like it's per project, like because anybody can build it, use that code. It's open source, right?
I don't know if it's going to be open source, but like I think it's for, I'm sure maybe to start it'll be sort of permissioned in that there's only going to be certain projects that can actually set up a pool for their project to of course be staked, and then from there maybe it'll be more permissionless, right? Anyone can go, big or small, can go and of course set up a pool. Yeah, it just seems like I mean, like there's a couple of, I think only one project on ETH that, you know, I stake stuff, and it's Meme Land. But like, God. I mean, Boo's I guess already been working them for a little bit. You know, he's obviously not here today, but I don't know. I feel like the staking thing is kind of a passing meta. I understand the benefits to doing it, but like we did ordinal staking. I shouldn't say
We
ordinal
did?
staking, but like NFT staking in the past.
Yeah.
And like, you know, what big project, like our Bored Apes, like, oh, I gotta go stake my ape. It's like the bigger projects don't necessarily fuck with some of this stuff. Because it's just sort of like gimmicks to get people to hold things for longer rather than like building a real fucking diehard.
Isn't the honest assessment of this that staking is done so that the amount of the float that can be sold is lower, so the price fucking goes up?
Yeah.
Precisely.
So
Yeah,
like,
and they want to incentivize.
do you want to do that?
obviously people not
Do that.
selling. Yeah.
I don't want my shit locked up where I can't sell it when I want.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
But like we don't, you know, that's the fucking reason this happens. Like,
Also, something to consider, like just because we think it's an old meta doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to take with a different audience, right?
Sure.
Like we've seen algo coins and all this stuff, you know, like a handful of different metas actually be recycled within the crypto space many times, and every single time they fail, and every single time people fall for it because you get fresh meat in that doesn't understand, and they end up going for it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, it could play out, we could see, but I'm with ads on this one. I'm not looking to stake any of my stuff.
But like, say outside of this, and just like look at like say 100 projects in Ordinals, right? What is the next 10 years for these projects? It's just like the same 1,000 holders that are just talking in alpha groups, printing on money, like printing on like alpha calls and stuff like that. Like what is the product beyond this original like say the OG art of like say. Let's not talk about puppets or OMB, but just like any other project.
The only
like,
project,
like what are they? Well, like what else? Like what does it look like for the next 5-10 years that incentivizes you to hold without staking? Like what goes beyond just like holding this art of a certain project?
like the only thing that matters is the number of people that give a shit about the project and are talking about it. And if that number doesn't go up, then the project fails.
I mean, how can the number go up if the same 1,000 people are trading with each other in and out?
I mean, you know, look, OMB is a huge project. A lot of people talk about that don't own one, for example. But you know, there's other there's new mints and stuff. But like essentially, like this is all an attention economy, right?
Yeah.
Like you get attention, people talk about it. Some of those people buy it because they get interested. So you either get more attention and there's more buying pressure. Like I'm simplifying, but more attention or less attention. One fails, one wins. Like on a simple level.
Do you guys ever ask other projects when I fly around and go to these meetups? You know, I ask just in passing, I'm like, hey, what's the future of this project? You know, they're like, I don't know.
Do you ever get like?
I'm just like, you don't.
Do you ever get answers you're happy with? Because that's what I feel is common.
No, I don't get it.
Know, right?
I'm not like putting them on a like I'm not persecuting them or putting them on trial. I'm just going. Because I'm in the project, I'm just curious, like what's the outlook for the next year or two?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, my thought is you would hope they have an answer, right?
Huh?
You would hope they have an answer.
They
by
don't have an
definition.
answer,
But
is what I'm saying.
That's worrying.
Well,
I
I
guess.
guess
yeah.
I think all of us really up here on you know on this stage like all have a longer term I think outlook than most, right? And so I think to your question, Troy, of like, you know, what 5 to 10 years from now, I think the expectation or really the hope and estimation is that, of course, like the same 1,000 people are not here, that has in a sense sort of 10x'd, right? If not more from where we're at today. But that's obviously a long road to get there. So no, like I hope it's not the same 1,000 people, because if it's the same 1,000 people, then they'll probably just eventually leave, right? Like we need it to be, you know, growing every single quarter, every single year, every single decade, hopefully.
I mean,
right?
when you have, I'm just watching this dog, not just trying to find
Eco, but
No,
like, you know, the entire crypto space.
So you got the like going back to the project, like the breedable runes or the ortogachis, which you like you have to do something to keep these, like even Pizza Pet's coming out. You have to like be active and keep these things alive. You don't just hold them in the.
You got to keep the attention. Right?
They're going to die, right? It gives you your attention, right? But that's a different thing than just having the psychology of like, okay, I got to come up with an art project or a PFP project. There's 1,000 of them. I got to put a face on it, some eyes, just so holders can identify with a picture. Like that psychology is still there with us. Instead of just like, hey, it's just a token, and we're gonna talk in this Discord. It's just a token. It's got a couple of dots on it, and we're just gonna be bullish on each other. You can't be. It's kind of hard to be bullish on just like a blank token picture.
Well, they're different. Yeah, like you can get emotionally attached to a PFP, right? I love this trait. I love that. If it's, I don't know, 3 dots, white dots on a black
Yeah.
background. There's 47,000 of them. Like, no one's
Yeah.
emotionally attached to that shit. They're buying it because they think the price will go up. So,
But I mean, also to that point, I mean, we have the punks, right?
Yeah.
Like the punks don't necessarily have any sort of like added
First is first.
utility or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, like really, what it is it is a social group, right? And people buy punks to get into that social group so they can have access to the people that also hold those punks, right? So I think we can see strong communities actually grow out of these things. And I think that's the only kind of value prop that needs to be there, right? Like,
Yeah,
do you have a strong core of people that like believe in this project? Are they sticking around for a long time? What kind of value are those people adding? Those
I
are
mean,
big
that's kind of
questions.
utility, right? Like, if
It
you've
is
got, you've got a
utility.
PFP that implies you were early and you have enough funds to own that, the fucking utility is like the cultural relevance of that thing.
Yeah.
Whether or not they call it utility, like that is a
it could,
utility.
it's like, say if we were all like, we're all friends, right? But if we were all punk owners, let's say, like, and we became friends because of it, and we became friends, it's like the trips that we've gone on, or the things that we've built or are going to build with it. Like, oh, those 4 punk owners, they're just 4 friends that happen to own punks, but look what else they built. From it, I think that's also like utility. It's like, what's that trajectory and the possibilities of that kind of thing, But when a project says to me like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on next," I'm like, "Dude, I'm holding your shit. I will keep that between us."
It doesn't inspire confidence, right?
No, it
No.
doesn't.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
yeah,
Have a plan.
have
Don't just
pla-
launch some shit.
Yeah,
But honestly, look, let's be honest. Most motherfuckers just launch shit and then make the plan as they're going.
But Mike Tyson
Like, we
said
can pretend that
everybody has a
doesn't
plan
happen,
until they get
and
punched
then
in
it
the
turns
face.
into
you
what
know?
I'm calling it now,
It's true.
accidental rugs.
Yeah.
Well-
Like, are we going to give you this? We'll make this, and then it's like, oh, that takes 47 developers. We need $7 million, and then accidentally they rug you. They had promises, they had intention, they didn't fucking do it. You're rugged.
Yeah.
I mean, I think also though, like I think you should have a plan, have goals, but be very flexible. And I think how you achieve that, or sort of how you get there, because I think that this space moves on such a dime, like so fucking quickly, that you can have the fucking greatest plan in your head in the world, but it's like, if at the end of the day you're like, all right, I'm about to go develop this thing, and you know that only 2 people are gonna fucking play it, you should probably just think about a pivot. Like you should really think deeply about, maybe we should switch it up a little bit. But that's an unfortunate, and I guess fortunate, sort of part of this space. The feedback loop is so quick. Like you should, be consistently talking to your customers.
I think,
you know what I mean?
like, there's 2 things. One is like responding to the market and just being agile as a company, which I think is good. But then what I see a lot of, different projects do is criticism is thrown at them, and instead of just like being like, we made a decision, we think this is good, we're going to do what we had planned, they're like, oh fuck, we didn't realize you didn't like this, and they capitulate. And to me, that is such a sign of like, I don't know if I want to put a lot of money into this team, because if they didn't have the confidence in the plan they already had because some people whinged, then how confident were they in the plan in the first place? So like, there's a balance between being dynamic, and you have to move fucking fast and change, or you're fucked. But if you respond to like people that are complaining because they don't like X, Y, Z, and it's like, the Twitter mob, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that to me is bearish as fuck, and that's not the same as being dynamic and changing to the market like you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to pivot in this market. You got to pivot in where we're at, man. And we're getting trained for that. Yeah, what's up?
Speaking about some pivots, right? We had more recently the sort of Silicon Valley, the crypto, or the sort of political elites.
Is this
now
with Mark Cuban's?
Now becoming Bitcoin fanboys.
Yeah.
Right, Trump as well. I mean, we were talking a little bit ago about like government and crypto, though. And do we like that? Do we not?
Can we say what it is, though? This is like, all right, Bitcoin's around, it's doing well, and the people in power are like, fuck, I don't have any of that shit. I need to get involved in that shit, so I got the power. That's what fucking happened.
Or maybe I think more likely is they do have that shit. And they are like, okay, now that we see a bullish environment kind of like taking, shaping up, let's pump it.
I mean, when you have the former president coming to Nashville next week, I'm fucking like
it's bullish.
Any former president coming there to speak, that's alive.
It's bullish
besides
with Bitcoin.
Sleepy Joe Biden, because he wouldn't be able to make it. Is bullish on that for one reason or another. I don't know
be
that.
skeptical of motivations, right?
So yeah, let's be fucking real, right? I think at the end of the day, all politics, right, is a polls game, is a fundraising game, right?
Power grab, like,
Absolutely,
yeah.
right? And it's at the end of the day, it's a power grab. They want more power, right? Like
Yeah.
they got to go up to the they go from the House, they want to go to the Senate, all that sort of shit, right? You want to become a president, and I think at the end of the day, what President Trump potentially realized is this could potentially be a nice fundraising mechanism, right? There's a lot of crossover between conservatives and people that of course, Bitcoin, a lot of libertarian values, shit like that. And, I think when it comes to some of these other, politicians as well, it's are people into this? Yeah. Will they vote on it? Yeah. Let's lean into it. And you'll just see, you even see the, Trump's VP pick. He used to be a Trump hater, but is now sort of, flipped.
I mean, Trump used to be he wasn't really into Bitcoin years ago.
Yeah, and so ultimately, I think that maybe these people are now into Bitcoin. Right?
They're not into Bitcoin. They're into the power they see and the wealth that they will be able to get if they engage with it. Let's be fucking honest. They weren't here 8 years ago talking about decentralization. They're here now being this is a fucking issue that people care about. Also, it's worth a lot of money, and I don't have enough of it, or I want more of it, and if we regulate it, then it means every pension fund can buy it, the price will go up. Let's stop fucking pretending that all these candidates give a fuck about all of us.
I don't
right?
think
They don't.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm hearing this shit on Spaces. Everyone's pro this, pro that.
I don't think Trump.
To be clear, all politics is fucked. They're all cunts, right?
I think Trump.
But
I think some rune tickers might pump because of Trump next week. Because
they will.
But I don't
politics.
think it pumps Bitcoin because of Trump.
But I just think let's not pretend.
I think.
You don't think so?
I think it might be a sell.
Okay, hold the phone though. Because
Wait,
we literally saw the market actually turn the fuck around as soon as Saturday's events unfolded with the
Did you say it
attempted
won't pump
assassination on
because of
Trump, right?
I'm being contrarian so I can get some content out of this.
Okay,
But
but that's
the reason.
But part of me necessarily doesn't. There's some dishonesty here. I don't think it pumps in the way as much as we think it will. As you might think it will.
Look, if everyone thinks it's going to happen, it's not. That's how the fucking market works, right? But I just want everyone to just take a step back.
I think
be
it's because
skeptical and stop thinking that Trump is Satoshi or fucking whoever the fuck is going to save the world and the planet. Everyone is out for their self-interest generally because we're fucking human beings. And so he can do shit that's good for Bitcoin. That's great for Bitcoin. Yeah. Just he's not sitting there reading the white paper, I would guess. No. Probably, right? He's not actually
he's reading the yellow paper burger.
maxi.
He's got a team.
And he can do things that are positive for Bitcoin, but let's not all just pretend that we shouldn't be skeptical of every person that wants power above everyone else.
Yeah, I don't think him alone pumps Bitcoin. I think the attention around it and all the other bigger players, now they're talking on the ground that we've been playing on.
Yeah, this is all positive.
That's what I'm bullish on.
I'm just hearing a lot of people talking as if these people love Bitcoin for the concept of Bitcoin the way that we love it, decentralization and getting out of the fucking banks and all this shit. They love it because they see an opportunity to make money or take power.
They love it. They love it because they see an opportunity to actually track every transaction that we ever make and to do away with cash, right? Mm-hmm. And basically reinstall a digital currency. And Zenblob just asked, did Trump say that he was going to back the dollar with Bitcoin? No, he did not. But he did mention that he was in favor of some sort of digital currency being backed by Bitcoin, right? Mm. So that's alluding to the fact that prior to Trump said that he wasn't in for the CBDC, but now he's saying, okay, American dollar's fucked, numbers are in. We understand that financially speaking, the dollar's inflating at a rapid rate. We can't get control of it. We almost kind of need to reset things. And the best way to reset things to a certain degree, and the great reset, if you will, is by creating some sort of digital currency backed by the only thing that we know is not going to inflate, right? And the only thing that has, a consistent set limited supply of it, right? It has a set limited supply. And it's like, dude, we know that, like, that's Bitcoin. So, yeah.
Cuban said that, and let's not forget, what's his name from BlackRock. I mean, he was on CNN this past week, totally like
Larry Fink.
We know he's already, he's got gobs and gobs amount of Bitcoin, but like it's like official. It's just very interesting. So if you're talking about,
and rumor is JD Vance, the vice president.
Why does that sound like an old fucking commercial?
JD Vance. It sounds like a
JG
Wentworth.
Like
It sounds like
singer
JG
or
Wentworth.
fucking-
It's my money and I need it now. But apparently
irony.
JD Vance is a Larry Fink guy. So it's like,
He's a Peter Thiel, Larry Fink, Elon Musk guy.
He's also maybe a Milady guy as well.
Okay.
Apparently, rumor is
Emilio?
Charlotte Fang follows him, and he follows Charlotte Fang. or
Yeah.
something like that.
I saw
That's
a quote
interesting.
retweet on
It's kinda
that.
interesting.
Milady.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy, man.
Yeah.
Miladies will pump.
I
They're-
guess.
yeah. Good for Miladies.
No, it's really interesting, and I think also, and this sort of leads us into next week, which is, I think there was an announcement from Bitcoin Magazine saying Trump plans to talk a little bit about being in favor of a small amount of the U.S. Treasuries being Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is big, right? I think
That's fucking huge.
I mean, even like 1% of U.S. Treasuries is fucking.
And then
massive.
who is he would appoint as the
Jamie Dimon?
Jamie Dimon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dimon?
Dimon.
Dimon.
But anyways, that also brings us to really next week, right?
Yeah.
Which is
Nashville.
one of the biggest weeks, I think, for Bitcoin, for Ordinals in, I think, ever. I don't know. I think ever. Like, this is going to be one of the biggest showings from all sides of the card here, right? From miners to artists to collectors to degens to whoever the fuck else, right? All congregating in Nashville, the Bible Belt, to have a ton of fun. Of course,
Began says Nashville's going to be a movie. I agree. Is it going to be a fucking tragedy?
What kind of movie?
Or is it,
Is it a
I
comedy?
mean,
Project X.
do you think
Project
there's
X.
listen,
An action movie?
I'll be
Yeah,
the first one
yeah.
to say this. I'll say
Coming
that.
of
Do you
age.
think there's going to like be dude? It ain't just going to be about ordinal MFers and Bitcoin MFers. It's going to be dangerous, man. I think.
wow.
You don't think there's going to? They're talking about another fucking. There's
What?
jokes on the timeline talking about possibly figuring out another fucking attempt.
No, come on.
Dude, what do you think that?
I mean, I think it's fair to say, like,
Come on,
if
what do you mean,
a
come on?
presidential candidate was shot at and they're coming somewhere, there's some danger that comes with them.
Yeah,
By
bro. I mean,
I mean, yeah, but that was like no more than,
I'm not
than
looking for-
previously,
I'm
right? Like,
saying
it's
I'm-
going to be locked down even more.
I was
I
looking
think
at
the
mean,
point
like-
I would make is, like, I would hope that Trump coming doesn't actually overshadow, like, the fucking Bitcoin conference and talking about Bitcoin, which it could do, but just because media
it
and
could-
whatever, like, the media's
I just
generally
wanted to wear a
shit, you know,
10-gallon hat. I wanted to, shoot some clay pigeons, listen to some country music,
Eat some chicken.
eat some chicken, go on a rodeo. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
that sounds great, man.
Do
If
some,
that's what
ride
the
a bull.
conference is.
some go-karting with Jack
Play
Butcher.
guitar.
I don't want any bullets whizzing by my ear. You know what I mean?
It's going to be a blast.
I want to get
I
a
think
photo
generally
bomb
most
with
people don't want that.
Donald
Yeah.
Trump. I don't want to pay $60,000 to get a picture with Donald Trump. I'll do a photo bomb though.
I mean, I think it's
luck.
pretty amazing just looking at the growth though from last year, right? From Bitcoin Miami where they held the last event, and
Yeah.
there was like one or two side events that were related to Ordinals. The presence inside the actual conference was like this, like off to the corner, poorly lit little gallery that like,
Ordinals.
it was it was
It was
funny.
in a laneway.
Yeah,
no
it was
roof,
like it was
dingy.
just not like what you expected, and it was certainly like not the same as 2022 Bitcoin Miami, which was like the fucking crazy, Naive Bukalele and El Salvador shit. Anyways, but like I think it's gonna be amazing this year, right? With multiple side events, they're gonna have a large presence at the actual Bitcoin conference.
Yeah.
One of the things I think I'm gonna be at most, if not the whole entire time, is the Ord House, right? Put together
Yes,
by
sir.
Overlord and of course Jen.
Yeah.
Who was a resident, of course, of IRA Alpha.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff from inscribing Nashville and stuff like that, but like I'm particularly excited about the Ord House, right, which is the 24th through the 28th, and we'll all be there as well. IRA Alpha will have a presence.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
have a fucking blast.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Blast.
Come
Yes.
through, meet us all in person. It's gonna be a blast. That's the biggest alpha, guys. Like a lot of people,
Yes.
I don't think we talk about it enough here, but we do talk about it quite a bit. But like, getting the opportunity to actually see people in the flesh, like less than 1% of the people that hang out online actually probably have that opportunity.
How about
so
the
take advantage of it.
Yes.
How about the cross-chain MFers that are coming? I'm excited about that. Like it's that there's a lot of people because Bitcoin really isn't just ordinals, obviously, but so people that are on other chains that are ETH and Solana, they I'm sure they're into Bitcoin too, and they know what's happening next week with also the news of Mr. Orange Head coming to speak and stuff like that.
What do we think Bitcoin price will be at when we next have this show, which should be post Nashville? And that's what
Post
it says.
Nashville?
To be
2 weeks
entirely
from now?
honest with you,
69.9.
You think 69?
No, I don't
I think we see new all-time highs. I mean, if Trump steps out on that stage and says that he wants 1% of the U.S. Treasury to be Bitcoin, then yeah, Bitcoin's going to.
Oh, it'll go.
We're talking about
close to 80 or over 80.
hyper-financialization there.
We're
at that
probably
point.
we're probably thinking 80 to 90 maybe even
That would be crazy. I'd be down
maybe
with that.
encroaching at 100K. 100K by
go.
end of by Christmas, you think?
I think 100K is going to be hard because everyone wants to get to a fucking 100K. It's another figure. It's like 6 numbers. Like it's
A lot of people in the world.
It's not going to happen easily. Like
A lot of people in the world, a lot of
and
smells.
a lot of people in the world think they know how to trade, and like 1% can.
Trade
so
by that
always
time?
wrong.
Yeah, in Germany
Just
definitely
any
can't
price
trade
prediction
'cause
that
they
everyone is
sold the
making
bottom.
is wrong
What?
by definition.
Your
usually.
prediction?
My prediction of what the price would be, like in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll say it's 70K.
All right, I'm going 700K. Let's go.
Fuck off! This guy's a loser. What's your name? What do they call you?
How do I short BitGod?
Short big god, mate.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
do we prediction? We have all the predictions in.
Yeah, all prediction.
All
Lock
right.
it in.
All
Final
right,
answer.
guys, that's it tonight. Stay tuned for the IRL Alpha
Alpha.
show, which is in like an hour.
Yes.
It's an hour.
7:30
and
p.m. PST.
Right in this general vicinity right here.
Literally right
Find
here.
us in Nashville next week. We're doing a bunch of shows there at the Ord House. I think 3 days of that, and the whole fucking gang is going to be here. No one's going to be in Venice. Nobody who's anybody is going to be here in Venice. But please do not rob us when we're
Yes.
not at our homes. All right, take care, guys. We're out. Peace.
Good night.